So guys, this is one of my most highly requested videos of all time. It's time for the next edition of the Ultimate Gaming Room. We've got a whole host of amazing updates to install in this episode. And with it being said, let's get started. So, we're going to start this episode by quickly recapping the current setup, and then we're going to dive straight into the upgrades. And make sure you stay till the end on this one because, to be honest, we've got quite a few surprises at the end. With that being said, let's get right into it. So, starting from the left, we've got a 34-inch LG ultra-wide monitor, the Nano Leaf Aurora lights, and a pretty mid-range gaming PC, and the 2015 maxed out MacBook Pro. We've got a chair that I cannot wait to get rid of, a 55-inch 4K Samsung TV, and a PS4 Pro with a custom skin in the Mr. Who's the Boss colours. We've then got a far higher end gaming PC to really push that 4K TV to the max. And to be honest, so far I'm really enjoying the setup. It's a ton of fun to play games on the giant TV, and on the left hand side I kind of get a lot more of my work stuff done. And one of the things you might notice just on the very right is that we've actually got a brand new table. Now to be honest, it's in a bit of a contrast to the rest of the setup in that it's probably one of the cheapest white tables you can buy, but my requirement was quite simple. I needed a location where I could film unboxings in, take some more scenic and slightly cleaner shots of products. It's just going to give me more variety in terms of shooting. So one of the first things I wanted to do was to quickly upgrade the PC. Now this video is actually sponsored by WD, and they helped me out by sending me their WD Blue SSD. So the plan is I'm going to replace my standard Seagate 1TB hard drive with a WD Blue SSD, and this is not a super high-end product, but nonetheless it will be much faster than my current hard drive. And in terms of installation, it's pretty simple. You simply just open up your PC case, take out the hard drive and replace it directly with the SSD. My read and write speed went from something around the 200 mark to something closing in on 500 mark almost instantly. So having that higher read and write speed is going to mean we can not only boot faster, but multitask better. Some games will run faster as well, games that are coded to use that, and all around SSDs generally are more reliable than hard drives. This one specifically has an MTTF specification of 1.75 million hours of usage. And the company's so confident about the product and that it won't break down that they have a 3-year limited warranty. So pretty cool. So, moving on. Right on the left hand side you can see we've got this pretty obnoxious desk lamp. Now it's fully functional, but to be honest I don't like the way it looks. I don't like its functionality, and also the cable is very annoying. So what we're going to do is replace it entirely. So we've got the IKEA Lustre, which is an all metal floor lamp, and we're going to combine that with a Gen 2 Philips Hue bulb. So like with the IKEA table I've got, this is not a particularly high-end item, but I remember seeing it in a showroom and being really impressed by it. It's pretty sleek, it doesn't really attract too much attention, but that's exactly what I wanted. I want the attention in this setup to really be on the gadgets behind and not necessarily the lights. So unpacking the whole thing up, we've got a few pieces. This isn't exactly going to be a hugely complex DIY job, but we're basically just going to put it all together and see how it looks. So compared to the last desk lamp, this is hugely taller and has a flexible neck, so it gives me a lot more room for maneuver. So then we've got the, to be honest, abhorrently priced Philips Hue bulbs. Now, I really do like the service, I really like what it does, and I like the quality of the lights, but these things just are too expensive. I've ended up paying £50 just for one bulb here. So yeah, it had better be good. So I've gone for the white and colour bulb, because to be honest the end objective of this room is to be able to create pools of colour, not necessarily bright white lights everywhere. So as you can see, this is creating a little bit of a cable problem. So whilst this is definitely not a permanent fix, and to be honest I don't really advise you doing this for your own setup, for the purposes of temporarily making it look good, I've decided to tape the cable to the top of the desk, which means that when you're viewing it from any other angle but underneath, it should look completely clean and faultless. And this whole installation means I can now get rid of that obnoxious lamp. Thankfully, the installation process went pretty smoothly. Before hooking this all up, I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to run into problems or not, but thankfully within about 5 minutes of plugging that bulb in, we were all synced with the app and ready to create some ambience, which is pretty cool. And I have to say, when all the main lights in the room are turned off and we're just working off the hues, it really does add a lot to the room. You'll see some more clips a little bit later. So now we've got something I've been wanting to install for such a long time. This is essentially a glorified smart light strip, namely the Hue Shape Light. It's got a socket, quite a long cable, and then 2 meters of light strip. And as we observed with the Hue bulbs, we could have got 10 times the amount of light for the same price had we opted for a non-smart alternative. Having said that, holding this in the hand, it really does feel a step above the light strips I've used before. So the plan so far is to integrate it under the bed frame. It's going to give the illusion of the bed floating above the ground, and whilst I did try to do this previously with a non-smart strip, it didn't really look very finished. It wasn't a consistent pool of light, and it didn't work with my other products. So installing that was really simple. The product was very sticky, it should hold there pretty well, and yet again, like with the previous bulb, it was set up in no time at all. Now whilst this is covering far less of an area than my previous light strip was, it is a lot brighter, and to be honest, I'm really starting to like how it works with the other things in the system. And slowly but surely, changing my room from having a higher quantity of lights to having a higher quality of lights, we are starting to see an improvement in the effect it creates. So, a special guest. I decided to go for the Amazon Echo Dot. It essentially has all the features of the Amazon Echo without that giant cylindrical speaker, because of course we have far better speakers in this room anyway. So the idea is we're going to sync this to our speakers, to our monitors, to our Nanoleaf Aurora lighting above, and totally automize the processes in this room. Unlike with just using Google Assistant to control these things, the Amazon Echo Dot has far-field microphones, which means that you can be talking at a normal conversation level anywhere in the room and it will be able to pick up your voice and respond accordingly. On top of that, it has all the other benefits like being able to tell you the weather, being able to tell you traffic updates, and all that other cool stuff. So guys, the setup is shaping up pretty nicely. If you've been following this for quite a long time, you'll probably start to notice that we've gone from a stage of growth, a stage of just adding new things again and again, to a stage of refinement, from cutting back and then re-improving things. And I think that's the way forward. I think it is better in the end to have elegance, to have fewer but higher quality things, rather than to just bombard your setup with object after object. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. As always, it really means a lot to me, and if you could hit that subscribe button, that would genuinely make my day. With that being said, I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.